So basically, I give this talk about every week or two, and it goes up as a podcast. So that is what will happen to this segment, I believe. And I talk about different things each time I do this session. Sometimes I talk about just a range of vacancies that we've got. Sometimes I split them into themes, and that's what I'm going to do today. So the themes we could talk about are private companies and ASX listed company is one theme. Could talk about government roles, of which there are lots available. I could talk about sports roles. I could talk about financial services roles. But today I've picked industry, consumer, self-regulatory bodies, innovating for a better Australia, and social care entities. So first up, we regularly get postings from organisations that are essentially self-regulatory bodies, which is a mix of industry and consumer representatives. The one that's up there at the moment is the Energy and Water Ombudsman of New South Wales, which closes on the 21st of July. Very interesting role. They're looking for some consumer representatives. And this body essentially manages complaints and suggestions, etc., from users of the services, which by the title is clearly energy and water. So I recommend that to you. They're looking for financial oversight, governance, risk management, digital technology strategies, and consumer affairs as the skill set that they're looking for. Next up, my category that I've called today, Innovating for a Better Australia. There's three items here I want to talk about. The first is ANU Enterprises, which closes on the 16th of July. This is one of the many bodies that universities tend to try and spin out from their university with a view to commercialising it. On this occasion, they're looking for accounting, business operations, stakeholder engagement, finance, and digital transformation. You might have noticed that digital transformation has been mentioned twice so far. It's sort of the hot topic. Next up, ID 22656, Race for 2030. Now, what could that possibly be? It closes on the 23rd of July, and it's actually looking for an expert in the energy sector from all its facets. And the aim of this organisation, which is a CRC, which is a cooperative research centre, is looking for people who know something about energy and resources, renewables, and commercialisation. Really, really interesting role if that's your area of expertise. And basically their aim in life is to drive energy innovation across the supply chain. So that's wholesale customers, retail customers, etc. Really interesting opportunity. And this week, of course, the government has announced the funding for 3 new CRCs, which will feature in our newsletter next week. The third of my Innovating for a Better Australia category today is the Forest and Wood Products Australia. This closes on the 23rd of July, and they're looking for people who know something about natural resource management, architecture and design, building and trades, housing, research and development. So some of you will have probably read about, in particular, there's a building in Melbourne that was built entirely from wood. And that's the sort of things that this organisation spends its R&D money on to try and think of building things in different ways. So that's pretty interesting also if that's an area of expertise that you have. So that's my 3 Innovating for a Better Australia list. And my final list is the general category of social care entities. These are organisations that are basically concerned with well-being of Australians who perhaps are less fortunate than some of us. Next up, RSL New South Wales. This is the only item on the list that I'm talking about today that doesn't pay their directors. And they're looking for 2 new directors, one who can be the treasurer and one who's got more interest in the remit of RSL. And I just mentioned in passing, if there are any people who know lots about accounting, risk management and compliance, there's an item on our website called New South Wales Audit and Risk Committees, which you can register for, and you then get put on the register in New South Wales. And at some point you might be asked to join an Audit and Finance and Risk Committee. So that's my list for today. Remember, to apply for a board vacancy, you need a quality board CV. Can't stress this enough. I'm doing an exercise at the moment and I've been receiving CVs from people and most of them really are in need of a bit of renovation, to put it very politely. So really, really important that you have a decent CV. From time to time, get one of my iSnap emails. The WOB website is built on a range of algorithms designed by, believe it or not, myself, being an IT geek from way back. And that drives the advice, quote, we don't give advice, but the suggestions we make to you about what your next steps should be. So in fact, they drive what messages come to you about you're a match for this particular vacancy, or it drives also the answer you get if you do the quiz on the front page, and it drives the information you get in the dashboard when you log on. So it's actually quite interesting, I think, anyway. But to finalize my remarks for today, this is the 1st of July list of list of vacancies that you might be interested in. And please have a quality CV. It is absolutely vitally important. And if you need to get some help to produce a quality CV, that's absolutely fine. Most people can't write their own CVs. I got mine done. So that's my little offering to you for today. There are many, many more vacancies than the ones I've mentioned.